Alright guys, so Titans Season 4 is about to come to a close as we are now weeks away from part 2 of this final season of Titans on HBO Max. It's right around the corner. April 13th is when it's going to start. Of course, yesterday we got our first official post for part 2 as well as the official trailer as well. And also our first look at Jayla Kurgo as Robin, which I love that suit. It looks so cool. So definitely check out that video that I posted yesterday if you haven't already. I did say in the video like, oh, I'll get out my trailer breakdown tonight. That didn't end up happening, but it's still here nonetheless. So here we are to talk about Titans Season 4. Before we get into talking about the actual trailer itself, which it's on its own is really action-packed and shows off a lot of really cool stuff going on here, I first want to talk about just the synopsis for the rest of this season, for part 2 of Titans Season 4. So episode 7 will pick up in the immediate aftermath of the winter finale, with the Titans transported to the Temple of Trigon, but Brother Blood and Mother Mayhem are nowhere to be found. The next step in their quest takes them to a mysterious town whose residents seem to be hiding a big secret, and they later uncover a prophecy that may require Corey to make the ultimate sacrifice. So definitely quite interesting right there. The whole Corey making a sacrifice thing is intriguing. I'm interested to see, will she actually make the sacrifice, or is it going to be like most things where it's like, oh, gotta make this sacrifice, and then she doesn't end up having to do it and they find a way around it. We'll see. But I mean, it is the final season, so like it could end with her death. That would be pretty cool, go out as a Titan, fighting like a Titan. That would be pretty awesome. But at the same time, I also don't want her to die because she's really cool. So anyways, guys, without further ado, we're going to go and jump into this and break down the official trailer for Titans Season 4, Part 2. Again, streaming only on HBO Max, April 13th. So, we begin with the birth of Brother Blood, which is pretty much right where we left off with Part 1, is Sebastian Blood. He went into this big bloodbath, I guess you could call it, and he is now coming out reborn as Brother Blood. And I love Joseph Morgan, great actor. You can see just the difference between pre-Brother Blood and actual Brother Blood, because before, when he was just Sebastian, he was very shy, he was very meek, he was very anxious, he was a small skinny little guy that didn't want anything to do with any of this stuff. And now this guy is ripped. And so Joseph Morgan, the actor, was ripped this whole time. And it's honestly really cool how they were able to hide it before. Because, again, before he looked like a really scrawny little guy. But now he is ripped. He's got the pecs. He's got the biceps, the triceps, all of the seps. He's got them going on there. And he is just covered and drenched in blood. I am kind of curious as to, he walked in the pool with a shirt on. He walks out without a shirt on. Probably just for dramatic effect. But, just want to throw that out there. What's really interesting, though, is this is one of the craziest parts of the whole trailer. There are moments in here that could possibly be spoilers. Like this one, for example, where we do see Brother Blood. He is getting all powered up. His eyes are glowing red. And you can see the person behind him is, of course, Mother Mayhem. But in this shot, he then turns around to do his sonic screech thingy that we got just a brief glimpse of at the end of Part 1. And so he does this here, we're assuming, to Mother Mayhem. So is he going to turn against her? Is he going to kill her? I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption to make. So there's that. But of course, again, going along with that synopsis, the Titans have been transported to another... we'll talk about it more in a second, but Gar, Beast Boy, he is transported, of course, to the red, which, of course, is, it's like the green, like with Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy, but the red is another elemental realm where he can connect to his powers more deeply, and we saw his visions and flashes that he was getting in Part 1, and so it's really helping to develop his powers and him finally coming to fruition as Beast Boy. But a really interesting character that we meet right here, who actually did appear in Part 1, of course, played by Nambi, who not only voiced Martian Manhunter in a couple animated DC movies, but also probably the place you'll best recognize him in is he was on Mike and Molly. I love that show. So he was in that. And while it's not confirmed here, there have been rumors and theories, and especially basing it off this design here, that this character is going to be the character of Freedom Beast. So really cool connection with the comics, a very deep cut for that character. I'd never even heard of him before, but you can definitely see the similarities between the designs for those characters right there. But Gar, again, he's going on this journey to develop his powers. But meanwhile, Dick and Corey wake up in bed together, and they're a little confused because they're like, how did we get here? And this is when, so the town is called Cole's Folly. Thanks for visiting. Come back soon. And so again, they're confused. How do we end up here? And after some more flashes here with Gar, we find out from, of course, Bernard, who is Tim's boyfriend, the head of Star Labs. He says that they are in an alternate dimension / reality, something like that. It's definitely not where I expected this to go, but it's happening. And of course, you know, Dick and Corey being in bed together, that of course is got to get the fires burning for you Dick Corey fans. I myself am one of them, so I really enjoy seeing those two together. But another really interesting thing I've enjoyed seeing throughout season 4 is Connor's evolution as well, because he is taken on this really interesting storyline where he is now Connor Luthor. He is tapped into more his Lex Luthor side of his personality, of his genetic makeup, I guess could say. And, you know, at the end of part 1, he shaved his head, he turned all Lex Luthor, and now he's getting even more Lex Luthor, you know, killing people. He's got his own way of going about doing things. And then Rachel has, of course, her connection to Brother Blood, because Brother Blood is her brother. No pun intended. That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, Brother Blood, and because they share the same blood. So she is dealing with some stress here because he is basically kind of trying to drain her power. So that's definitely not good on her. But a really interesting thing, though, that I want to mention is that, so we have a meeting between Sebastian and Connor Luthor. So in the trailer, it kind of sets it up to make it look like, oh, Connor's left the Titans. He doesn't care about them anymore. He's teaming up with Sebastian to take down the Titans. But according to another synopsis that was also released, Connor is going about taking down Sebastian in his own way. So I think he's trying to go for the more manipulative perspective, where he's trying to make Sebastian think that he is working with him, but really he's just going to backstab him and betray him in the end. And then there's some more stuff with Sebastian and, of course, Mother Mayhem as well. And this is a really interesting moment right here, because you can see Sebastian, he dips his hand in like this pool of lava and he rips out this horn. Now this horn could be a whole number of things. I'm not sure. I mean, I think personally it would be really cool if he actually wore it on his costume, because in the comics, Brother Blood did have like this crazy horned crown. So that would be nice to see. But my other theory is that this is maybe one of the horns of Trigon, because we do get to see it a little bit later on in the trailer as well when he's actually blowing into the horn. So clearly going to be a very powerful artifact right there. Also the fact, like, you know, you want to know how powerful he is. He literally just stuck his hand in a pool of lava, pulls it out, and he is not feeling anything. But by far, probably the best part of the trailer, which of course coincides with our recent suit release and reveal, we get to see Jay Lycurgo as Tim Drake suiting up as Robin and training with Jason Todd as well. So we get the return of Curran Walters as Jason Todd, one of my favorite parts of the previous 3 seasons of the show. Curran Walters, great as Jason Todd. And of course, the last time we saw him, he was Red Hood. He left the Titans at the end of season 3, and we haven't seen him since. Now, based on rumors and leaks, we knew that he was going to be coming back, at least in some partial small way, in season 4. I feel like it'll probably just be for an episode or so, and he's going to be the one that is training Tim Drake to become the new Robin, which I think is pretty cool, especially when you go back to season 1 when Jason Todd was becoming Robin. Dick Grayson was the one that trained him. So I think that's really cool, kind of bring things full circle for that character. And again, this is where we get the big reveal of Jay Lycurgo wearing his Robin outfit. And this just, I made a whole video about it. It looks so cool. It is so comics accurate. It is just so good looking. It's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we get to see him in action a bit there. We also get to see Gar in action, kind of connecting to the red. And there's some more shots of Rachel, which one thing I do want to mention is, like, I love her White Raven outfit, but it would really be a shame if, this is the final season, the last couple episodes of the show, the final 6 episodes, if we get the White Raven outfit, but we never get the Dark Raven, which of course is like her main outfit in the comics. So that would be kind of disappointing, but we'll see on that. Starfire is suiting up there, firing up. Of course, again, going back to the whole prophecy thing. This, I am not sure what's going on with. It's just showing like a police officer, probably showing like a civilian POV here. But there's like bats flying through the sky. Now, I'm assuming that's probably something from Brother Blood, but I don't know for sure. I love this line from Corey where she's like, "Are you sure we can't just solve this by me like blowing up something?" That's hilarious. And then again, we go back to that horn thing, which definitely looks like it could be one of Trigon's horns. But Brother Blood does grab that. He blows it. And speaking of Trigon, we do get a shot at some point in the trailer of this giant hand coming up out of the pool of blood, the fiery pools of blood. And I believe that this has got to be Trigon. I mean, who else would it be? We saw at the end of part 1, Sebastian, his hand coming up out of this pool of blood, and it did not look like this. So this, I'm assuming, has got to be Trigon, which I think is really cool because, of course, Trigon was the main villain of Season 1, so again, bringing things full circle. We never got to see Trigon in his full form until the first episode of Season 2, which he was then just pretty much wasted and just a thrown away villain that was just used up in the first like 10 minutes of that episode, and really wasted potential there. So to bring him back in a really cool way again, the final season, that's a great way to do things. I do hope that 1, the CGI is better, and 2, that they do a better design, because I like this design, but man, at least give him some hair. Like, the man looks weird without his hair, which is not the thing that, like, when you look at a Trigon design, he's like giant, basically a giant devil. You'd not think the hair is the thing that really pulls him together, but honestly, it is. That's the thing that he really needs. Also, actually, another thing about it, maybe less human looking eyes. Like, you see here that they're like glowing red eyes. Like, the fact that he has the 4 eyes, so that's great and everything, but the fact that there's just like 4 human looking eyes, it looks a little whack. We also do get the shot of lightning, which I don't really know what that is either, and also the arrival of Brother Blood. So of course he's transformed into Brother Blood, but we do have, of course, him wearing the semi-comics accurate. It's not really super comics accurate, but I really like this design. It looks really cool, of Sebastian in his Brother Blood outfit. And again, we are. It was mentioned in the trailer that he's like draining the powers not only of Rachel, but also of these other people as well. So you can see somebody hooked up there. And Brother Blood, again, his eyes glowing red. He is draining the life force. He's draining maybe the blood of all these different people here. We even get the shot of Tim Drake lying over the body of Bernard. Does this confirm the death of Bernard? I don't think they would spoil that in the trailer. I mean, it's definitely possible. I could see that being a thing here, especially when, again, there was another synopsis that was released particularly about Tim Drake and how something happens to Bernard, and that is what ends up driving him to become Robin. So maybe Bernard dies, you never know, or maybe it's just injury, but then again, he does look pretty dead right there, so we'll see. But speaking of dead, we do also have a body bag in a morgue where a giant hand is poking out of that and coming alive. Now, I don't know who this could be. I mean, could it be related to Brother Blood? Is he gonna raise like an army of zombies or something? Or another character I want to bring this back to is Jinx. Of course, Jinx, at the end of part 1, she got stabbed, and I think we were supposed to assume that she died. I was under the assumption that, like, she escaped with the rest of the crew and they just, like she was going to make it, and it was just, like, this big cliffhanger of, like, oh, no, is she going to live or will she not? And then it was going to be the obvious, like, oh, yeah, she's fine now. But we don't see her on the poster. We don't see her anywhere in these trailers. So I guess Jinx is actually dead? Maybe? Question mark. I do really like this shot of Brother Blood as well. There's Tim Drake, Robin, and Nightwing in action together. You can also see Raven in the background as well. Starfire is hooked up to a bunch of machines. Maybe my theory is that possibly Brother Blood, with his whole draining power thing, could possibly be connected to how Corey has all this immense power she's been set up with this prophecy throughout the season. Maybe he's going to try and drain her powers. Another cool shot of Rachel, Raven. This is the best team shot we see in the whole trailer right there. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Titans Season 4, the final episodes are going to be streaming on April 13th, only on HBO Max. Again, this is the series conclusion. It has been canceled, basically. So Season 4, that is it. The final 6 episodes of Titans Season 4. I'm really excited for it. So far, Season 4 has been great. I think pacing has been really nice. It's definitely been a bit of a slow burn, but in this back half of the season, things are really ramping up. Things are really going to town. So I'm really excited to see this one. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about this official trailer for Titans Season 4 Part 2? And I haven't decided completely yet what I'm going to do, but if you guys want to see me do when Part 2 starts releasing weekly episodes, do you want to see me do weekly episode reviews and breakdown? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I keep you up to date on everything goes on in the DC life.